There is a version of you that already has what you have been praying for. Not someday, not when everything outside finally changes, not when the money appears, not when the door opens, not when people approve, not when life becomes easier. That version of you already exists in the invisible place where every real transformation begins. And the secret is this: your outer life does not change first. Your inner identity changes first. Then your outer life begins to reorganize around the person you have become. This is why the phrase "act as if you already have it" is so powerful. But most people misunderstand it. They think it means pretending. They think it means lying to yourself. They think it means acting rich when you are struggling, acting confident when you are afraid, acting peaceful while your heart is shaking. But that is not the truth. Acting as if is not pretending to have something. It is becoming internally aligned with the person who can receive it. It is walking by faith before the evidence appears. It is choosing the state of victory before the world gives you permission to feel victorious. And in the next moments, you are going to understand why this principle can change the way you manifest money, opportunity, healing, confidence, purpose, and peace. You are going to see why Jesus taught belief before sight. You are going to understand why Napoleon Hill insisted that faith, desire, and imagination must work together. And most importantly, you are going to learn how to practice this in a way that is spiritual, practical, and deeply powerful. Before we go deeper, write this in the comments: I already am the person I am becoming. Do not write it casually. Write it as a declaration. Because every time you declare a new truth with intention, you give your subconscious mind a new instruction. And that instruction begins to shape your thoughts, your emotions, your decisions, and eventually your reality. There is a hidden reason why so many people never receive what they say they desire. They want abundance, but they rehearse lack. They want peace, but they identify with anxiety. They want success, but they keep speaking like failure is their destiny. They want a new life, but they keep carrying the emotional posture of the old one. And the universe, life, the subconscious mind, and even your own behavior respond not only to what you ask for, but to who you believe you are. This is why Scripture says, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Not as he hopes, not as he wishes, not as he complains, as he thinks in his heart. The heart in biblical language is the center of belief, emotion, identity, and inner conviction. So the question is not only what do you want? The deeper question is, who are you being while you want it? Are you being the person who is ready to receive? Or are you being the person who is still begging from a place of fear? Napoleon Hill taught that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But there is a word in that statement that most people skip over: believe. The mind may conceive a dream, but if the heart does not believe it, the dream remains distant. A person can imagine prosperity all day, but if deep inside they still feel unworthy, afraid, and defeated, their actions will quietly return them to the same patterns. Belief is not a thought you visit once. Belief is an inner atmosphere you live inside. And acting as if you already have it is the art of entering that atmosphere before the physical evidence shows up. It is the art of becoming so inwardly persuaded that your decisions begin to change. Your voice begins to change. Your posture begins to change. Your expectations begin to change. And when expectations change, attention changes. When attention changes, opportunities become visible. When opportunities become visible, action becomes different. And when action changes, results begin to follow. This is not magic in the childish sense. This is spiritual law working through mental discipline. This is faith becoming identity. This is imagination becoming instruction. This is the invisible becoming visible through the person you choose to become. Think about a seed. When a seed is placed in the ground, nothing visible happens at first. The surface looks the same. The soil looks quiet. Someone without understanding might say nothing is happening. But underneath, something sacred has begun. The seed is not pretending to be a tree. It is becoming what it already contains. It is acting according to its inner design before the world can see the fruit. That is what you must understand about yourself. You are not pretending to be blessed. You are learning to live from the blessing that God has already placed within you. You are not pretending to be prosperous. You are becoming a person whose thoughts, habits, faith, and choices can hold prosperity without fear or self-sabotage. You are not pretending to be confident. You are allowing your spirit to stand in agreement with the truth that you were not created to live small. Most people wait for evidence before they change their identity. They say, when I get the money, then I will feel abundant. When I get the opportunity, then I will feel chosen. When I see the result, then I will believe. But faith works in the opposite direction. Faith says, I believe and then I walk. I believe and then I speak. I believe and then I prepare. I believe, and then the evidence begins to form. Jesus said that whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Notice the order. Believe that you have received. Not believe only when it appears. Not believe when the bank account changes. Not believe when someone calls your name. Believe that it is already settled in the unseen. That is acting as if. It is not arrogance. It is not denial. It is agreement with the invisible promise before the physical manifestation arrives. And this is where many people lose the blessing. They pray but immediately return to fear. They visualize but immediately speak against their own vision. They say they believe, but their daily state says, I am not sure. They plant the seed in the morning and dig it up at night with doubt. Then they wonder why nothing grows. Acting as if you already have it means protecting the seed. It means guarding your inner world. It means refusing to speak death over what you just prayed into life. It means choosing a new emotional home. Ask yourself honestly, what emotional home have you been living in? Have you been living in pressure? Have you been living in lack? Have you been living in resentment? Have you been living in the belief that good things happen for other people, but not for you? Because your emotional home becomes familiar to your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind will often guide you back to what feels familiar, even when it is painful. That is why change can feel uncomfortable at first. Peace can feel strange to someone who is used to chaos. Abundance can feel unsafe to someone who grew up expecting loss. Confidence can feel unnatural to someone who was trained to doubt themselves. But this is exactly why you must act as if, not because you are pretending, but because you are training your inner world to accept a new normal. A normal where favor is possible. A normal where money can flow without guilt. A normal where opportunities can find you. A normal where you are guided, protected, and prepared. A normal where you no longer shrink to match your past. Napoleon Hill called faith a state of mind that can be developed through repeated instruction to the subconscious mind. Faith is not only something you feel once during a moment of inspiration. Faith is cultivated. Faith is practiced. Faith is rehearsed. Faith grows when the mind is repeatedly exposed to the truth until the truth becomes stronger than the old fear. This is why affirmations matter. This is why visualization matters. This is why your words matter. This is why your nights matter. This is why the first thought in the morning matters. Because your identity is being shaped every day by repetition. The person you are today is the result of repeated thoughts, repeated emotions, repeated choices, repeated images, and repeated words. So the person you will become must be created the same way, by repetition with faith, by repetition with emotion, by repetition with purpose. If this is speaking to something deep inside you, take a moment and like this video, not just to support the message, but to mark this moment in your own mind. Let it be a small outward action that says, I am no longer available for the old version of me. And share this with someone who is praying for a new season, because sometimes one sentence heard at the right time can unlock a door in the soul. Now let us go deeper. To act as if you already have it, you must first understand the difference between desire and identity. Desire says, I want it. Identity says, I am aligned with it. Desire looks at the dream from a distance. Identity begins to live from the dream as an inner truth. Desire hopes. Identity prepares. Desire waits. Identity becomes. This is why many people desire prosperity, but never become prosperous in their thinking. They desire love, but still behave as if they are unworthy. They desire success, but still make decisions from fear of being seen. They desire freedom, but keep obeying the emotional chains of the past. The gap is not always opportunity. Sometimes the gap is identity. You do not rise to the level of what you want. You rise or fall to the level of who you believe you are. So if you want a new life, you must stop asking only, "What do I want?" You must begin asking, "Who would I be if this were already true? How would I wake up? How would I speak? How would I handle pressure? How would I treat money? How would I use my time? How would I pray? How would I walk into a room? How would I make decisions? How would I respond to delay?" This is where the transformation begins. Because acting as if is not about performance. It is about alignment. If you say you already have peace but you keep feeding your mind with chaos, you are not aligned. If you say you already have abundance but you keep speaking poverty over yourself, you are not aligned. If you say you already have confidence but you keep asking fear for permission, you are not aligned. Alignment means your inner world, words, emotions, and actions begin moving in the same direction. It does not mean you never feel fear. It means fear is no longer the leader. It does not mean you never have doubts. It means doubt no longer gets the final word. It does not mean everything outside has changed. It means something inside has taken authority. That authority is the beginning of manifestation, because a divided mind cannot build a stable life. Scripture says a double-minded person is unstable in all their ways. A double-minded person says, "I believe," but also lives as if nothing can change. A double-minded person prays for the open door, but refuses to prepare for it. A double-minded person wants a new level, but keeps rehearsing the old identity. Acting as if heals the division. It brings the mind into agreement. It tells the subconscious mind, "This is who we are now. We are no longer rehearsing defeat. We are no longer bowing to fear. We are no longer waiting for the world to name us before we accept what God has placed within us. We are becoming." And here is where the secret becomes practical. Every morning, before the world tells you who to be, you must tell your mind who you are. Before messages, before noise, before other people's opinions, before the pressure of the day, you must enter the state of the fulfilled person. Close your eyes and breathe slowly. See yourself already living from the answered prayer. Not begging, not chasing, not panicking, living. Feel the calmness of already being guided. Feel the strength of already being chosen. Feel the gratitude of already being supported. Then speak words that match that reality. Say, "I move today as someone who is already blessed." Say, "I make decisions from faith, not fear." Say, "I am prepared for the opportunities that are coming to me." Say, "I am becoming the person who can carry what I have prayed for." Say, "What belongs to me by divine alignment is already moving toward me." Do not rush these words. Feel them. Let them enter the body. Let them settle in the heart. Because the subconscious mind does not respond deeply to empty words. It responds to words mixed with feeling. Napoleon Hill taught that thoughts charged with emotion have a magnetic quality. Emotion gives thought power. Emotion tells the subconscious mind, "This matters." This is why worry can create such a strong pattern. Worry is imagination mixed with fear, and faith is imagination mixed with trust. Both use the same inner faculty. One creates anxiety, the other creates expectation. So when you act as if you already have it, you are choosing to use imagination as a servant of faith, not as a servant of fear. You are no longer imagining disaster. You are imagining divine order. You are no longer mentally rehearsing rejection. You are rehearsing readiness. You are no longer using your inner vision to build prisons. You are using it to build pathways. And slowly, your mind begins to obey the new image. You begin noticing things you used to ignore. You begin speaking with more clarity. You begin taking action without the same heaviness. You begin walking away from what does not match your future. You begin feeling uncomfortable with old excuses. You begin recognizing that the life you prayed for requires the death of the identity that kept you small. That is why acting as if can feel challenging. It asks you to stop being loyal to the version of you that survived the past. That version may have protected you. That version may have helped you endure. That version may have learned to expect disappointment, so it would not hurt as much. But survival is not the same as destiny. You were not created only to survive. You were created to grow, to produce fruit, to serve, to prosper in spirit, and to become a vessel of light. And the next level of your life will require a new agreement, an agreement with faith, an agreement with discipline, an agreement with the future God is forming in you. Write this in the comments. I am in agreement with my new identity. Let those words become a witness, because there is power in making a conscious declaration where your eyes can see it and your mind can register it. Now let us address something important. Acting as if you already have it does not mean ignoring your current reality. It means refusing to let your current reality become your final identity. There is a difference. If your finances are not where you want them to be, you do not deny the numbers. You deny their authority over your spirit. You look at the numbers with wisdom, but you do not bow emotionally to fear. You make a plan. You learn. You adjust. You act. But you do it from the state of someone who is rising, not someone who is doomed. If your dream has not manifested yet, you do not pretend that it has physically appeared. You prepare as if it is worthy of preparation. You sharpen your skills. You clean your environment. You organize your mind. You build your character. You become trustworthy with the small so you can carry the greater. That is faith with works. Faith is not laziness. Faith is not sitting still while calling in miracles. Faith is inner certainty that produces aligned action. When Noah built the ark, he acted as if the rain was coming before rain was visible. When David faced Goliath, he acted as if victory was possible before the giant fell. When Abraham moved by faith, he acted on a promise before he saw the complete picture. This is the pattern of spiritual success. The evidence comes after obedience. The fruit comes after the seed. The manifestation comes after alignment. And this is why acting as if must be rooted in humility, wisdom, and faith. Not ego, not fantasy, not reckless spending, not trying to impress people. Some people here act as if and think they should perform wealth to be seen as wealthy. That is not alignment. That is insecurity wearing a costume. True acting as if is quiet. It is internal, it is disciplined. It says, I do not need to prove anything to anyone. I am building something with God in secret. I am becoming stable in private. I am renewing my mind where no one can applaud me. I am becoming the kind of person whose life will eventually speak. This is powerful because the subconscious mind is always watching your behavior. If you declare abundance but behave in panic, the subconscious mind receives mixed instructions. If you declare confidence but keep hiding from every small action, the subconscious mind stays attached to fear. If you declare peace but keep choosing environments that feed chaos, the subconscious mind believes chaos is still your home. So acting as if requires daily evidence from you, small evidence, simple evidence, consistent evidence. If you are acting as if you are prosperous, you begin respecting what you already have. You stop treating money with fear or carelessness. You organize, you give thanks, you learn to receive, you make wise decisions. You stop saying, I am broke, as if it is your name. You may say, I am growing in wisdom with money. I am becoming a better steward. Provision is finding me as I become prepared to manage it. If you are acting as if you are successful, you stop waiting to be motivated. You create structure. You show up, you finish what you start. You speak to yourself with authority. You do not ask the mood of the day whether your purpose matters. If you are acting as if you are loved, you stop chasing validation from people who cannot recognize your value. You treat yourself with dignity. You forgive, you become honest. You let your heart heal. You stop identifying with rejection. If you are acting as if you are guided by God, you stop moving in constant desperation. You listen. You pray. You wait when waiting is wisdom. You move when moving is obedience. You trust that delay is not denial. This is the deeper meaning. Act as if you already have it means live from the consciousness of receiving. Live from the posture of someone who knows the promise is alive. Live from the identity of someone who is being prepared, not punished. Because sometimes what you call delay is preparation. Sometimes what you call silence is alignment. Sometimes what you call a closed door is protection. And the person who acts as if does not fall apart every time the road bends. They remain anchored. They understand that God can work through timing, through process, through hidden development, through relationships, through ideas, through correction, and through quiet inner shifts. This kind of faith creates emotional stability. And emotional stability creates better decisions. Better decisions create better outcomes. This is why spiritual principles and mental principles meet in the same place. The state of your soul shapes the direction of your life. Now, listen carefully. One of the strongest ways to act as if you already have it is to practice gratitude before the full manifestation arrives. Gratitude is the language of someone who believes they have received. Anyone can say thank you after the miracle, but faith says thank you when the seed is still underground. Faith says thank you when the door has not opened yet, because it knows God is already moving. Faith says thank you for the wisdom being developed. Thank you for the strength being built. Thank you for the unseen connections. Thank you for the ideas that are coming. Thank you for the discipline that is forming. Thank you for the old patterns being exposed. Gratitude changes the nervous energy of desire. Without gratitude, desire can become desperation. With gratitude, desire becomes expectation. And expectation is powerful. A desperate person chases, an expectant person prepares, a desperate person panics, an expectant person listens, a desperate person clings, an expectant person trusts. This is why, every night before sleeping, you should enter the state of already having received. The moments before sleep are sacred for the subconscious mind. The conscious mind begins to quiet down. The inner gate becomes more open. The thoughts and emotions you carry into sleep become instructions. If you go to sleep rehearsing fear, the subconscious mind continues working with fear. If you go to sleep rehearsing lack, it strengthens the identity of lack. But if you fall asleep in gratitude, vision, and faith, you plant a different seed into the deepest part of the mind. This is where many people unknowingly sabotage themselves. They spend the whole day trying to be positive, then spend the last minutes before sleep scrolling through fear, comparison, anger, and noise. Then they wonder why they wake up heavy. You must protect the doorway of sleep. You must treat your night like a spiritual workshop. Before sleeping, turn away from the noise. Breathe slowly. Place your hand over your heart. Imagine the desire fulfilled, not with strain, not with force, with peace. See yourself living it. Feel the gratitude. Feel the relief. Feel the quiet certainty. Then say, I receive the version of me that is ready for this blessing. Say, I am being guided while I sleep. Say, my mind is renewed, my heart is steady, and my path is opening. Say, I rest in the promise, and I wake with direction. Then sleep like someone who is not abandoned. Sleep like someone who is being prepared. Sleep like someone whose invisible life is changing. This practice may seem simple, but simple things repeated with faith become powerful. A drop of water can shape stone through consistency. A thought can shape destiny through repetition. A prayer can shape a life when it becomes an inner state. Napoleon Hill emphasized the importance of repeated suggestion before sleep because the subconscious mind is especially receptive in relaxed states. But Scripture already revealed the sacredness of meditation day and night. The blessed person meditates on truth, and what they do prospers in season. This is not coincidence, this is alignment. The mind that is fed with truth becomes stable. The spirit that is anchored in faith becomes fruitful. The life that is guided from within begins to produce outward change. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself, what have I been acting as if? Have I been acting as if I am forgotten? Have I been acting as if I am always behind? Have I been acting as if money is always running away from me? Have I been acting as if love is hard to keep? Have I been acting as if success is for others? Because everyone is acting as if something. The only question is whether you are acting as if the promise is true or acting as if the fear is true. Your current behavior reveals your current faith, not your religious faith only, your functional faith, the faith you live from. A person may say they believe in abundance, but if every decision is controlled by fear, their functional faith is lack. A person may say they trust God, but if they live in constant panic, their functional faith is uncertainty. This is not to condemn you, it is to awaken you. Because once you see the pattern, you can change it, and the change begins with one powerful decision. From this day forward, I will stop rehearsing the identity I am trying to leave. Say that to yourself. I will stop rehearsing the identity I am trying to leave. You cannot become new while constantly worshipping the old story. You cannot walk into the promised land while speaking like Egypt is still your home. You cannot receive a new harvest while planting the same seeds of fear every day. At some point, you must decide that your words will no longer betray your future. Your thoughts will no longer sabotage your prayer. Your imagination will no longer be used against you. Your body will no longer be trained only for survival. You are allowed to become familiar with peace. You are allowed to become familiar with increase. You are allowed to become familiar with being chosen. You are allowed to become familiar with answered prayer. And one of the most powerful ways to do that is to practice the feeling of the fulfilled state. Not once, daily, when you wake up, before important actions, before sleep, whenever fear tries to pull you back. Close your eyes for a few seconds and enter the state. How does the fulfilled version of you breathe? How does that version think? What does that version stop tolerating? What does that version start honoring? What does that version believe about God? What does that version believe about money? What does that version believe about purpose? Let the answers come. Then live one small action from that state. This is important. Do not try to change your whole life in one dramatic emotional wave. Change one action, make one call, write one page, clean one space, save one amount. Apologize once, say no once, say yes once, pray once with real faith. Take one aligned step. The fulfilled identity grows through embodied action. The subconscious mind learns through repetition and evidence. Each time you act from the new identity, the mind says, "This is who we are becoming." And as this repeats, the old identity begins to lose power. This is how self-sabotage fades, not by fighting the old self all day, but by feeding the new self until it becomes stronger. You do not defeat darkness by arguing with it. You turn on the light. Write in the comments, "I feed the new version of me every day." That sentence is a seed. And if you are still listening right now, there is a reason. Something in you is recognizing that this is not just about manifestation. It is about stewardship of your inner life. It is about becoming responsible for the invisible garden inside you. Because everything visible grows from that garden. Your money habits grow from it. Your relationships grow from it. Your courage grows from it. Your discipline grows from it. Your peace grows from it. Your purpose grows from it. And God cares about that garden. This is why the Bible speaks so much about the heart, the mind, the tongue, belief, meditation, and faith. Because your inner world is not imaginary. It is the command center. It is the soil. It is the well. It is the place where life flows from. Guard your heart, Scripture says, because from it flow the issues of life. Guard it from what? From fear, from bitterness, from unbelief, from constant comparison, from words that poison your future, from environments that make your soul forget who you are, from habits that keep your mind addicted to lack. Acting as if you already have it requires guarding the heart as if the promise is already growing there. You would not plant a precious seed and then pour poison on the soil every day. Yet many people plant desires in prayer and then pour poison through their words. They say nothing ever works for me. They say I am always unlucky. They say I will never get ahead. They say I am too old. They say I am too late. They say people like me do not win. And the subconscious mind listens. It does not argue. It records. It accepts repeated emotional statements as truth. So from now on, watch the sentences that follow the words I am. I am is sacred language. It shapes identity. When you say I am tired, I am broken, I am unlucky, I am stuck, you are not just describing a moment. You may be building an identity. Be careful. You can say, I feel tired, but I am being renewed. You can say, I am facing a challenge, but I am guided. You can say, I do not see the full path yet, but I am walking by faith. You can say, I am learning to receive. You can say, I am growing in wisdom. You can say, I am becoming stable. You can say, I am ready for divine opportunities. This is not wordplay, this is inner leadership. Your words are not decorations, they are directions. The tongue is like a rudder, small but able to steer the ship. So if you want to act as if you already have it, speak as if your words are building the bridge you will one day walk across. Now let us bring this into money and prosperity, because many people clicked on this message with a desire for financial change. Acting as if you already have prosperity does not mean spending money you do not have to create an image. That is not faith, that is pressure. True prosperity begins with a consciousness of sufficiency, stewardship, creativity, service, and trust. A prosperous person does not worship money. A prosperous person respects money as a tool. A prosperous person does not say money is evil, because they understand that money amplifies the heart that holds it. In the hands of fear, money becomes control. In the hands of wisdom, money becomes service. In the hands of greed, money becomes bondage. In the hands of purpose, money becomes a channel of blessing. So if you want to act as if you are prosperous, begin by becoming a good steward of what is already present. Bless what you have. Organize what you have. Stop speaking curses over what you have. Look for ways to increase value. Ask God for wisdom, not just money. Ask for ideas, not just rescue. Ask for discipline, not just a miracle. Ask for the capacity to hold what you are praying for. Because sometimes the blessing you desire requires a stronger version of you. Napoleon Hill taught that riches begin with a state of mind, with definiteness of purpose, and with a burning desire translated into plans and persistence. That matters. You do not act as if by sitting passively and waiting. You act as if by preparing a mind that expects, a heart that believes, and hands that are ready to work. You become the person opportunity can trust. You become the person money can flow through without destroying your peace. You become the person who no longer sees wealth as something outside of God, but as something that can be aligned with purpose, generosity, excellence, and service. Imagine this. What if the financial change you want is not only about receiving more? What if it is also about becoming someone who can create more value, manage more wisely, think more clearly, and trust more deeply? What if acting as if you already have it means you stop chasing money as your master and start becoming a vessel through which provision can move? That changes everything, because chasing often comes from lack. Creating comes from overflow. Begging comes from fear. Serving comes from purpose. When your inner state changes, your relationship with money changes. You stop seeing bills as enemies and start seeing them as signals for growth, order, and responsibility. You stop seeing successful people as threats and start seeing them as evidence that growth is possible. You stop wasting energy on envy and begin investing energy in becoming. You stop asking, "Why not me?" with bitterness. You begin saying, "Prepare me, guide me, teach me, expand me." That is a prosperity prayer. Not just give me more. Make me ready. Make me wise. Make me faithful. Make me useful. Make me aligned. Because the abundance that comes without inner growth can become a burden. But the abundance that meets a prepared soul becomes a blessing. Now let us speak about relationships and love. Acting as if you already have love does not mean clinging to people or pretending everything is fine. It means becoming rooted in the truth that you are already loved by God. When you live from that place, you stop begging people to prove your worth. You stop abandoning yourself to keep someone close. You stop confusing attention with love. You stop letting rejection define your identity. You begin to carry yourself differently. You speak with more honesty. You choose with more wisdom. You forgive without losing yourself. You love without becoming desperate. That is acting as if. It is not acting as if a specific person belongs to you. It is acting as if love is already your atmosphere, and from that atmosphere, healthier connections can form. This applies to purpose as well. Act as if your purpose matters before the world applauds it. Do the work when nobody sees, write the words, build the skill, pray over the gift, study, practice, serve one person, then another, then another. Do not wait for a large platform to become faithful. Faithfulness in secret is often the doorway to influence in public. Many people want the stage, but they have not become stable in the small room. They want recognition, but they have not developed consistency. They want harvest, but they neglect seed. Acting as if you already have it means honoring the seed stage. You do not despise small beginnings. You treat them as sacred. You understand that every great tree was once hidden under soil. You understand that divine development often happens quietly. You understand that the absence of applause does not mean the absence of progress. And this is where patience becomes essential. Faith without patience becomes anxiety. Desire without patience becomes frustration. Vision without patience becomes burnout. Acting as if you already have it requires calm expectation. You are not forcing life. You are cooperating with it. You are not trying to control every detail. You are becoming available to guidance. You do your part and you release what belongs to God. This is the rhythm: faith, action, surrender. Faith, action, surrender. Not faith without action. Not action without faith. Not surrender as defeat. Surrender as trust. There will be days when the old identity tries to return. There will be days when your circumstances scream louder than your belief. There will be days when nothing seems to be moving. On those days, acting as if becomes especially powerful, not because you feel inspired, but because you choose alignment anyway. You do not need a perfect feeling to make a faithful choice. You can be trembling and still obey. You can be uncertain and still take the next step. You can be tired and still speak life. You can be delayed and still believe. This is maturity. This is the kind of faith that becomes unshakable. Napoleon Hill wrote about persistence as a necessary quality for turning desire into reality. Persistence is not loud. Sometimes persistence is simply refusing to return to the old story. Sometimes persistence is praying again. Sometimes persistence is visualizing again. Sometimes persistence is choosing gratitude again. Sometimes persistence is waking up and saying, I am still becoming. Not because everything is easy, but because your identity is no longer for sale. Your identity is no longer controlled by yesterday. Your identity is no longer waiting for permission. And as this becomes real in you, something begins to shift. People may not understand it at first. Your environment may look the same. Your bank account may not change overnight. The door may not open in the exact way you imagined. But you will notice a different strength in your spirit. You will notice that fear no longer grips you the same way. You will notice that your choices become cleaner. You will notice that you are less attracted to distractions. You will notice that your prayers become less desperate and more trusting. You will notice that you stop chasing what drains you. You will notice that ideas begin to come. You will notice that timing begins to feel meaningful. You will notice that you are becoming the kind of person who can recognize blessing when it arrives. That is what happens when you act as if you already have it. You become ready for the life you are calling in. Now take a slow breath. Imagine yourself 6 months from now, not as someone who has escaped all challenges, but as someone who has changed internally. See your face calmer. See your posture stronger. See your eyes clearer. See your words cleaner. See your environment more ordered. See your faith deeper. See your decisions aligned. See yourself no longer begging the old world to validate the new you. Feel that. Stay there for a moment. That version is not fantasy. That version is a possibility asking for your agreement, and agreement is shown through daily practice. So here is a simple ritual. Every morning, enter the identity. Every day, take one aligned action. Every night, fall asleep in the fulfilled state. Morning, action, night, identity, evidence, imprint. That is a powerful rhythm. In the morning, say who you are. During the day, act like it in one practical way. At night, let the subconscious mind sleep inside the new truth. Do this repeatedly, and your inner atmosphere will change. And when your inner atmosphere changes, life begins to respond through your perception, your choices, your relationships, your courage, and your opportunities. This is how the unseen becomes seen. This is how faith becomes form. This is how identity becomes destiny. If this message is opening something in you, write in the comments, I am living from the fulfilled state. That declaration matters because your mind needs moments of decision. A vague desire is weak. A clear decision is powerful. Now, let us make this even deeper. There is a reason acting as if works so strongly with the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind learns through images, repetition, emotion, and identity. It does not only respond to logical arguments. You can logically know you are capable, while emotionally feeling unworthy. You can logically know God is with you, while emotionally living abandoned. You can logically know money is a tool, while emotionally fearing it. This is why information alone does not transform people. Repetition with emotion transforms, experience transforms, identity transforms, So when you visualize yourself already having the blessing, when you feel gratitude, when you speak as the person who has received, when you take aligned action, you are giving the subconscious mind a full experience. You are not just telling it, you are showing it. And the subconscious mind begins to adjust your internal map. Old limitations become questionable, new possibilities become believable. That is the doorway. You do not manifest what you cannot emotionally allow. Some people say they want success, but success feels dangerous to them because it may bring criticism. Some say they want money, but money feels guilty to them because they were taught that wealth is somehow unspiritual. Some say they want love, but love feels unsafe because of past wounds. Some say they want visibility, but being seen feels like exposure. So the real work is not only asking for the thing, it is becoming emotionally available to receive it. Acting as if helps you become available. It lets your body practice safety in the new reality. It lets your mind become familiar with expansion. It lets your spirit stop resisting the very thing you pray for. That is why you must act as if with gentleness, not pressure. You are not bullying yourself into belief. You are guiding yourself into truth. You are not forcing your mind. You are renewing it. You are not escaping reality. You are becoming a higher participant in reality. And there is a beautiful biblical pattern here. God often calls people by their future, before they fully look like it in the present. Abram becomes Abraham. Gideon is called mighty before he feels mighty. Peter is given a name connected to strength before he fully understands his own stability. This is divine identity. God speaks to the seed, not just the current appearance. God names what is becoming. So when you act as if, you are not inventing a false self. You are agreeing with the higher name. You are saying, I may not see it fully yet, but I will not reduce myself to what the past has called me. I will answer to the future God is forming. This is why your self-talk matters so deeply. Do not call yourself what God is healing. Do not call yourself what fear is trying to make permanent. Do not call yourself by your lowest season. You are not your delay. You are not your rejection. You are not your bank balance. You are not your mistakes. You are not your unfinished process. You are becoming. And because you are becoming, you must speak to the becoming with honor. Say, I am disciplined. Even as you build discipline, say, I am wise. Even as you learn wisdom, say, I am prosperous in spirit and growing in provision. Even as your finances are being repaired, say, I am guided. Even when you only see the next step, say, I am loved. Even when people fail to love you well, say, I am ready. Even as preparation continues. These statements are not lies when they are spoken as seeds. They are agreements with growth. But remember, after speaking, embody. Let the words pull you upward into action. If you say, I am disciplined, then honor one commitment today. If you say, I am prosperous, then make one wise money decision today. If you say, I am guided, then spend time in silence and listen. If you say, I am ready, then prepare something you have been postponing. This is how faith becomes credible to your own mind. The mind watches your behavior. Give it proof that the new identity is real. Now consider what happens over time. At first, acting as if may feel unnatural. Then it feels intentional. Then it feels familiar. Then it becomes automatic. That is the process of reprogramming. Everything that feels natural to you now was once learned through repetition. Fear was learned. Doubt was learned. Scarcity was learned. People-pleasing was learned. Self-sabotage was learned. And because it was learned, a new pattern can be learned. You can learn confidence. You can learn peace. You can learn prosperity consciousness. You can learn receiving. You can learn faith. You can learn to expect good. You can learn to move through life as someone who is guided by God instead of hunted by fear. That sentence alone can change your life. You are not hunted by fear. You are guided by God. Carry that into your day. Let it change your breathing. Let it change your posture. Let it change the way you open your hands. Let it change the way you make plans. Let it change the way you respond to uncertainty. When uncertainty comes, do not immediately collapse into old emotion. Pause. Breathe. Ask, how would I respond if I already knew that God was working this together for my growth? Ask, how would I respond if I truly believed provision was possible? Ask, How would I respond if I were already the person I am praying to become? Then choose from that answer. That is acting as if in real time, not only during meditation, not only during prayer, but in the moment of pressure, in the moment of choice, in the moment when the old pattern knocks on the door. That is where identity is formed. Anybody can feel abundant while listening to a beautiful message, but can you speak abundance when a bill arrives? Can you choose wisdom when anxiety wants control? Can you remain generous in spirit when your old fear says there is not enough? Can you keep preparing when nobody is watching? Can you bless another person's success without feeling threatened? That is the fulfilled state becoming embodied. And when you practice this, you stop being emotionally tossed around by every circumstance. You become rooted, and rooted people bear fruit. A tree does not panic because fruit is not visible in winter. It remains rooted. It trusts the season. It receives nourishment. It waits without becoming something else. You must become like that. Rooted in truth, rooted in faith, rooted in identity, rooted in the promise. There are seasons when acting as if looks like bold movement. There are seasons when acting as if looks like patient preparation. There are seasons when acting as if looks like healing. There are seasons when acting as if looks like saying no. There are seasons when acting as if looks like resting without guilt. Because the fulfilled version of you is not always rushing. The fulfilled version of you is aligned. And alignment sometimes moves fast. Sometimes alignment waits. The key is not speed. The key is obedience. The key is inner agreement. Now let us speak directly to the part of you that may still be asking, but what if nothing changes? That fear is understandable. Maybe you have hoped before, maybe you have prayed before, maybe you have tried before, maybe you have been disappointed. But listen, acting as if does not demand that you deny your pain. It invites you to stop making pain your prophet. Pain can tell you what hurt, but pain should not be allowed to predict your entire future. Disappointment can teach you, but disappointment should not become your identity. Past delay can humble you, but it should not convince you that nothing is moving. You can honor what happened without obeying it forever. You can say, yes, that season was hard, but it is not my final name. Yes, I have struggled, but I am not struggle itself. Yes, I have been afraid, but fear is not my shepherd. Yes, I have experienced lack, but lack is not my covenant. This is where spiritual authority rises. You stop letting old evidence testify against new faith. You choose a higher testimony. You choose the testimony that says God is still forming me. You choose the testimony that says my mind can be renewed. You choose the testimony that says my future can be different from my past. You choose the testimony that says, I am not finished. And from that place you act as if. You stand up differently. You clean your space differently. You handle money differently. You speak differently. You pray differently. You expect differently. You prepare differently. And then, slowly or suddenly, life begins to reflect the difference. Sometimes through an idea. Sometimes through a conversation. Sometimes through an unexpected door. Sometimes through a new level of courage. Sometimes through the ending of something that could not come with you. Do not only look for miracles that arrive as gifts. Sometimes the miracle arrives as discipline. Sometimes the miracle arrives as clarity. Sometimes the miracle arrives as the strength to leave an old pattern. Sometimes the miracle arrives as peace in a place where you used to panic. That counts. That is manifestation too, because the first manifestation is not always external. The first manifestation is the new you. And when the new you is formed, the old life cannot hold the same shape forever. Before we move toward the closing, take this in deeply. The thing you desire is not only something to get, it is something to become compatible with. If you desire a larger life, become a larger vessel. If you desire more peace, become someone who protects peace. If you desire more money, become someone who can steward increase. If you desire more love, become someone who lives from wholeness. If you desire more purpose, become someone who honors the small assignments. Do not wait for the big door to become the person who walks through big doors. Become that person now, in your habits, in your speech, in your private thoughts, in your morning routine, in your night routine, in your decisions when nobody knows. Because the hidden life always becomes the visible life. The private identity always becomes the public result. The unseen root always produces the seen fruit. This is why Jesus spoke about faith the size of a mustard seed. Small faith is not weak when it is alive. A small seed with life in it can become a tree. So do not despise the small beginning of this practice. One morning of speaking differently matters. One night of sleeping in faith matters. One decision made from the fulfilled state matters. One act of discipline matters. One moment of gratitude matters. One comment declaring your new identity matters. It all becomes part of the pattern, and patterns become destiny. Now for the next few breaths, let this become personal. Say within yourself, I'm not waiting to become worthy. I am accepting that I am being prepared. I am not chasing from fear. I am walking from faith. I am not pretending. I am aligning. I am not forcing. I am receiving with wisdom. I am not my past. I am the seed of a future God is still watering. I act as if because I believe before I see. I prepare because I trust the promise. I move because faith has entered my body. I rest because I am not alone. Feel the difference in those words. They do not make you passive. They make you powerful in a peaceful way. That is the energy of the fulfilled state. Power without panic. Confidence without arrogance. Desire without desperation. Action without fear. Faith without noise. This is the state that changes things. And the more you return to it, the more natural it becomes. Do not be surprised when people notice something different about you. They may not know what changed, but they will sense a new stability. They will sense that you are no longer begging life to approve you. They will sense that you are carrying a quiet authority. They will sense that you have stopped negotiating with old limitations, and some people may resist it. That is okay. Not everyone who knew the old you will understand the new you. Do not shrink to keep people comfortable. Do not return to fear to make others feel familiar. Walk humbly, love deeply, but continue becoming. The promise requires your agreement more than their approval. And now let this truth settle. Act as if you already have it and see what happens. See what happens when your words stop fighting your prayers. See what happens when your imagination becomes a sanctuary instead of a battlefield. See what happens when you fall asleep in gratitude instead of fear. See what happens when you prepare before the evidence appears. See what happens when you stop calling yourself by your struggle. See what happens when you choose one aligned action every day. See what happens when you live from faith long enough for your subconscious mind to accept the new identity. See what happens when you become internally available for what you have been asking for externally. What happens is this: you change. And when you change, your world begins to meet a different version of you. A version with clearer eyes, a version with stronger faith, a version with better decisions, a version with greater peace, a version that notices opportunities, a version that no longer sabotages blessings, a version that can receive without fear and act without desperation. That is the miracle. You thought you were only waiting for the thing, but the thing was also waiting for the version of you that could carry it. So become that version, not tomorrow, not after everything is perfect, now. Act as if peace is already your portion. Act as if wisdom is already growing in you. Act as if prosperity can find you. Act as if God is already working. Act as if your life is not stuck but being prepared. Act as if the seed is alive under the soil. Act as if your words matter. Act as if your faith is powerful. Act as if the invisible is listening, because in many ways it is. Your subconscious mind is listening. Your body is listening. Your choices are listening. Your future is listening. And your spirit already knows the way. If this message reached you today, do not leave it as only a beautiful idea. Seal it with action. Like this video so this message can reach more people who are ready to renew their minds. Subscribe to this channel if you want more teachings that unite faith, mindset, spiritual wisdom, and practical transformation. And write one final declaration in the comments. I act from faith because it is already mine in the unseen. Let those words be your agreement. Let them be your new starting point. And tonight, before you sleep, do not return to the old story. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, see the promise, feel the gratitude, speak the identity, then rest. Because while you rest, the seed is still growing. While you trust, The path is still forming. While you become, the world is quietly preparing to meet the new you. Remember this: you do not act as if to escape reality. You act as if to create a higher one from the inside out. You believe before you see. You become before you receive. You align before it appears. And when your inner world finally agrees with the promise, life begins to move in ways that once seemed impossible. Act as if you already have it. Not as a performance, as a prayer. Not as a mask, as a mindset. Not as fantasy, as faith. And see what happens when the person you are becoming finally takes the lead.